it's the Reading in Residence, and today I am back with another review, Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. It's a mystery, just like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So if you like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, you might like this one. It's set at like a special elite academy school. So kind of like Hogwarts vibes. Anyways, if you want to, I will put in the description of the video how long it took me to read this one. I finished it yesterday, by the way. It's good, I like it. Okay. Ellingham Academy is a famous private school in Vermont, founded by an early 20th century tycoon for the best and brightest students around. When Ellingham's wife, and that's the guy who made it, when Ellingham's wife and daughter were kidnapped, the only clue was a mocking riddle, listing methods of murder signed with a frightening, I don't know how to say this, name, let's just say name, Truly Devious. Their disappearance became one of the great unsolved crimes in history. Many years later, true crime aficionado Stevie Bell, she's a bit of like the Pippa Fitzmoby type, is set to begin her first year at the academy, and she is determined to solve this cold case. So we got a cold case. That is, she will solve it when she gets a grip on her demanding new school life and her housemates, the inventor, the novelist, the actor, the artist, and the jokester. But Truly Devious makes a surprise return. The past has crawled out of its grave, and someone has gotten away with murder. By the way, it's a trilogy. I think after this one, I might read the sequels. I might. I've got a long to be read. I kind of want to read a classic next. Anyways, so my best part of the story was the actual mystery part. I really did like the mystery, and the writing in this one is great. What I didn't like was this subplot romance, and I feel like there were way too many characters for me to just like. Because, when you read, you read for fun. You don't read it like it's... So I don't read this like it's a mystery I need to solve and I need to know everyone. And as a result, I think I just lost track of a few characters. I remember Stevie, of course. Nate, the novelist. Kind of share. David, I don't remember what he is. I don't like him. He's annoying. Can't explain it. Something about him just rubs me the wrong way. And Hayes, the actor, who is going to be very important. So you open this book and you get this amazing map. I cannot tell what the heck. This one, as from the school library, and it's just so like stretchy for some reason. Someone really stretched this one out. Anyways, you get this map, which is amazing, but I can't really tell what's going on. I don't think it's that important to the plot to have this map, but it's a cute map. It's multimedia format, so you get like interviews, excerpts, and letters from the past. Alright, so chapter 1, but prologue. We meet Dottie. Dottie is so sweet, but unlucky. Dottie is a student at the academy who gets killed, spoiler alert. Yeah, I think there will be a few spoilers here, but nothing too serious. No ending. I'm only going about like midway through the book. Darcy's a sweet girl who loves to read. She's read like 500 books or something, which, I wish I could say I had, but I can't. And she's so sweet, but unlucky in every way. Chapter 1, we get Stevie and her parents, who are like a little bit annoying, going to Ellingham Academy, which she's gotten into because she's so passionate about mysteries. She doesn't really understand how she's gotten in, but she has gotten in. And a good thing too, because they'd be real cooked without her. Giselle. She's got a friend, Janelle, she's texting. So she's an online friend, basically. And she's like a mood on Pinterest. And speaking of which, Janelle's very quirky. Apparently, she's 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 the inventor. She's the inventor. She likes making machines and gadgets, soldering and welding, curating her Pinterest boards of organizational techniques, girls with glasses, young adult novels, coffee cats, and pretty much any television show. I wish I could see her account. Sounds fabulous. Alright, Nate. Nate has published when he was 14. Whoa. He is the teen writer rap. But he has a writer's block right now and he's really struggling. We meet Jermaine Bat, and I immediately forgot her after we met her, which was a shame, because when she shows up later, I was like, who? Stevie's parents are apparently, like, not very happy with her, because it says they wanted the going out shopping, prom going type, and they got a weird, creepy one. They're not a fan of her interest in true crime, which I guess can be like off-putting for some people, because they might think their daughter is a future criminal instead of a future detective, and also because detective work is dangerous, as you will see in the story. Steve is also very observant, which is going to really help her in the future. And then we get the switch to what happened in the past when Albert Ellingham, basically got this message and found out that, his wife and daughter were kidnapped and that he would have to give money in order to get them back. But of course it was like a bit of it didn't work. Wait, I feel like I should give more lore. Okay. So they got Ellingham and his friends, his gang, this little cute gang. He got a message that was basically signed Truly Devious, and there's all these ways to kill, which I suggest you do, like when you read, if you choose to read this, look back at this word often, because it is quite clever. Anyways, so okay, right, and then his wife and his daughter went missing, as did Dottie. I know. So everyone was like, okay, you need to call the police. And then he was like, no, I'm going to just give them money and give this Truly Devious some money and see if they'll give me back my wife and my daughter and my student. Which I think we can all agree is quite risky. Apparently, Allingham is a bit too confident because he grew up with no money and then he got lots of money and he's just so perfect and amazing that he thinks he can do literally anything. Which cat? He is unaware of his own mortality, whatever they say. As a result, he isn't able to get them back. I know. And then he writes a riddle, his last riddle. It goes something like, well, let me find it. Okay, I think I remember. What is, it's something like what is there but never really there, always on a staircase, never on a stair. I think it was that. You might have to check this one. If you like this riddle, I recommend. Anyways, so I was actually thinking about that one myself, like trying to figure it out. I got nothing. Anyways, and then he's very happy. He's like, okay, he tells his friend, okay, you go have a good time. He jumps on a boat, and then later on, boom, 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 shakalaka. He and his other friend on the boat get like exploded. I know. It's so sad. And also, there's this guy. Before that, there was this guy who like hates rich people, and they fought, and he had the money that Ellingham gave to Truly Devious because he like marked it. Very clever man. So this guy, like, can we just call him suspect? I forgot his name. Sorry. I was reading like, I think the bulk of this I unfortunately read during revision weeks and test week. So my brain was a bit preoccupied. That's probably why I'm like not paying attention. Anyways, I think I probably will reread this in the future when I can have some more attention. I'll get to that later. So the suspect basically was going to be killed, and but just as like he was going to be killed, there was an interruption. I think like a bomb or something, and he said before he died, he said something, and Stevie, she now looks at this and thinks, I mean, yeah, it does seem like he did it because he had the money and he had the motive of wanting to like take down rich people. I know. He was the OG billionaire hater. I can see him being a Taylor Swift hater. Anyways, I love Taylor. Anyways, so Stevie looks back at this and says, "Yeah, it does look like it's going to be suspect, but that's just like a little too obvious. Nothing's ever that clear. There was hardly any investigation." I think that's a common motif that appears a lot in this. That sometimes, if it that it's just too easy. If it's just too easy, it might not be that way. Also, this is an amazing line. Stevie Bell had a simple desire. She wanted to be standing over a dead body. Another thing about Stevie, this part really made me like her. She has anxiety, and when she has having like an anxiety moment, she can basically be distracted by what she cares about, her detective work. She can look at her podcasts, her books, her movies, her shows, her games, and I really like that she's just has a lot of passion for her mysteries. Okay, so this is Hayes. Hayes is like super attractive. Apparently, he's meant to be like super attractive. His voice was deep and smooth and rich, like what gravy might sound like if gravy could talk, which luckily it cannot. Gravy might have a nice voice, but the conversation would probably be dull. Okay, that was funny, Loki. I didn't laugh, but that was objectively funny. Anyways, so Hayes is a YouTube star. He made some zombie show called The End of It All, where he's a survivor in zombie invasion. And this is actually going to become important, so do keep in mind that he's the actor who wrote the show, wink wink, and that he's starring it. Anyways, Hayes is like, okay, I'm have an amazing idea for her show. It's going to be about like the Ellingham case, which was the wife and daughter disappearing, and I'm going to play Albert Ellingham. Stevie, you're an expert. Would you like to help me? Stevie obviously says yes, and she gets Nate, because he's a writer, to write the script. So everything seems to be going well until everything goes wrong. And Stevie's also noticing that Hayes is a bit shady. Now, other character we have Ellie. Where's an Ellie introduction? Ellie's very bold. She walks from the shower to her room wearing absolutely nothing. Her full name is Element Walker. She wears a trash bag at one point. She's an absolute baddie. Anyways. Where's the other character? Also, her parents really think she's gonna come back. I mean, these parents in these books, like, they're not that good if you think about it, because their kids are always doing this crazy stuff and not telling them about it. They should be telling. Shouldn't they tell their parents? Like, oh hey, I'm investigating this. Okay, so because Ellingham likes Greek and Roman culture, the names of the buildings are like Eunomia, don't know that one, Genius, Jupiter, Cybele, Dionysus, Asteria, and Demeter. Um, um, Stevie is in Minerva, after the goddess of wisdom. So if you like mythology, this one could be fun. It's not a big part. Then we have Larry, the security guy, who was a former who was a former detective or something. V is Janelle the friend. Yeah, I can't keep up. Janelle the friend, investigator's lover. um, who yeah. Where's David? I need to introduce you to David. David is kind of important. David is unfortunately important. He's Stevie's love interest. Um, yeah, I can't find him. Okay, so this is let's put some trigger warnings. A lot about murder, a lot about kidnapping, that kind of stuff. Obviously, there's some light swearing. You get some S bombs and F bombs. I was really quite shocked when the first F bomb came out. Okay, all right. Here's some David. David's a rage baiter. Stevie wasn't sure if this was supposed to be some kind of jab about money and lack thereof. Who said things like that? People like David, who also snuck up behind you in the morning when you were still half asleep. Did he know her family had little money? Did he want to play? Because she would play. Um, anyways, David's very suspicious. He has she searches him on the internet. Sucked you on the internet. Also, by the way, on Friday, Olivia Rodrigo had a new song called The Cure. I definitely recommend it. It has absolutely nothing to do with this. Maybe, maybe it actually does, now that I think about it. Because it's about not someone using a relationship to escape their own problems. And like, Stevie should definitely be focusing on her investigations on the murdered student, but instead, like, she's running around with stupid David. Um, there's no spice, but there's quite a lot of making out. I kind of just skip it because I don't, I don't really care about making out. Make outs in books. Well, where is it? Ooh, now this is important. Right before disaster goes down, okay, the murdered student, Stevie sees this on her wall. It disappears shortly after, and she thinks that, oh, maybe I just imagined it because, like, she was having an anxiety attack. But now I have to add on one other thing. Okay, so yesterday when I was finishing this, the daughter who's disappeared, whose body was never found, her name is Alice, and as I was like um, finishing this, I was on like the last chapter. I heard someone calling for an Alice. The Alice was a dog, but it was still terrifying. I was still absolutely terrified. Okay. Stevie knows how to pick locks, by the way. I just thought that would be a funny thing to say. Now we have, I think, this is an important lesson that if a crime happens, you need to write down everything you know first before you talk to anyone because witnesses are unreliable. So if someone says something about what they thought they saw, you might get confused. That's an important lesson. And then immediately after all this death, someone dies, David and Stevie share their first kiss, which is horrible. Someone just died. Until they get interrupted. Hey, this was a totally different voice, and it was coming from the doorway. The two of them stopped rolling. They were rolling? This is ridiculous. If you like romance, I don't know, you might like it. Something about it just didn't vibe with me. Something about the romance didn't vibe with me, but the mystery did. As I said when I was talking about obviously I don't want to spoil it too much, so I'm not going to talk about the student who died, but I can tell you it was really good. No, it was, I mean, not now. I just mean it was very well written and interesting. So if you like mystery, if you like suspense, riddles, Girl Detective, I recommend. But you have to be kind of locked in because there are a lot of characters and stories and details that I was completely losing track of because my mind was on something else. So that's all. Anyways, listen to The Cure. Consider this one. Subscribe to my channel. Press the like button. And thank you. Bye.